Hi guys, my name's Shooter. I'm the man on the Silver Mountain and welcome back to Warframe. Now, I've got some bits and pieces still to do, and today is one of the only days that I've really got free to do them. So, you guys are going to come with me. And whilst I'm doing them, the things in particular being mostly hunting for bits and pieces, although I believe it's only just turning to dawn here at the moment, which is kind of unfortunate because I was hoping to do some sentient core hunting and stuff like that. So we might just hang around, do some fishing, shoot some Grineer, see what else is going on here on the plains for the time being. And I realise there's more to do in Fortuna because it's just come out, but unfortunately the stuff that I need at the moment, both for the story for this guy, the Revenant, as well as for the building of Paracesis, the sword that Ballas gave us in the Chimera prologue, kind of leads me here to murder small rodents. Also, it's really fucking gloomy on Earth today. It's been almost the whole time that I've been coming to the plains lately to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's not been this grim, even at dawn, but hey ho, it's fine. Nothing useful in here? No. Okay. Cool. But yeah, anyway, one of the things that I kind of wanted to have a chat about whilst getting knocked on my ass by Grineer was because I watched back the Chimera prologue stuff that we did last time, and yeah, I'm a little conflicted. I'm a little torn by it because it seems like some of the things that I was saying, for instance, when we did the Umbra stuff, when we ended up having a big old fun time with Ballas and Umbra and Tar and all that kind of thing. Like it's a high-profile enemy who has eluded us for quite some time has just shown up. It's just kind of fascinating to see some of the shifts in characters and some of the shifts in how things have all kind of come to pass, and how even arguably some of the inconsistencies that kind of annoyed me before have, I'm not going to say been tidied up, but they've definitely been kind of worked on to one degree or another. Where is he? Is it you? It was me thinking I might be able to actually tag him, take him out of the sky, but hey ho. Where are those guys coming in from over here? There, I see you. But yeah, I don't know. It left me kind of trying to work stuff out after playing through it, because again, there was a whole load of new information, or possibly not even particularly new information, but it was information that seemed, at least to me, a little outside of what we were being led to expect, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. He's flying? You arse. Do you know what, we're gonna swap attack here. Excuse me. I need need my other gun. Excuse you. Thank you very much. There we go.
Target eliminated. Good work.
Arsehole coming in a fucking... what are they called? Daggins? Dargins. Probably shouldn't leave my board behind, but... it's being thrown around all over the place. It's fine. I'll be on my way, gents. I am getting more attached to this board, by the way. But anyway, I keep getting off topic. Yeah, the Chimera prologue, with him starting off kind of cursing himself, almost. Feeling confused. He feels like his perfect death. Seemingly the death by the hands of his own creations. Possibly in the pursuit of love, has been denied him by Lotus. I think maybe he was hoping for a somewhat heroic overtone to his ending, but it was denied by Lotus saving his life, and he even lambasts himself for suggesting that she does save his life. And he's like, no, under her eyes there's nothing but suffering. I'm stuck now. She took away my grace, my humanity, my perfection. She's ruined me. And that's kind of interesting to me, because he was going in expecting us to kill him, or like us/Umbra to cause him damage to the point that he may not survive, which again, like, doesn't seem like Valis necessarily in full, but at the same time he has talked about how Yorikin had freed themselves of death and how all emotions had been kind of numbed. So maybe he wanted to reclaim that as part of his demise. You know, that's all I can really think of, and yet that's been denied. He was hoping for his long lost love back, and I think
just uncovered the location of a resupply drop.
To a degree, maybe he got that, but it, you know, the same. He's had centuries to ponder and imagine that moment when Lotus comes back to him, or Margulis rather comes back to him, and I think he might have just got his hopes up. I think that might be the long and short of it, really. That he was hoping for... Ow.
There's the supply beacon. Grab it.
He was hoping for so much more, and it didn't come to pass. It was never going to come to pass. Because Lotus isn't Margulis, and he suggests that we are kind of in the same situation where we have imprinted on Lotus, and we were hopeful. She deluded herself. There was something that went wrong, or maybe she's planned this all along. Like he was saying, at the very least, in the ending that I got. Ow. In the ending that I got, the last dialogue that he gave me was very much, oh, she's foreseen this.
Take that supply beacon. Call in the drop.
And when it comes to her foreseeing things, yeah, maybe she's been playing us all along, or at least that's what he's come to the conclusion of. But then, why would she go against her father? Why would she go against Hunhao? Unless also if this was, you know, Hunhao's a secondary leader to the mother, whatever the mother may be. You know, her mother that she wants to go home to. She's going to, what, reclaim her fire, I think it was.
That's the last pod. Destroy the supplies.
So we've got this now suggestion that either Lotus was broken or changed in some way, and now that she has been restored, kind of arguably a chunk of hope has been lost. So we're going to have to see exactly how all of that kind of comes to pass, really. It's going to be messy in regards to Lotus, I think. Because his later suggestions are that there's only the sentient. There's nothing else left. Which would kind of suck in a way, because that also potentially means that we would lose Rebecca, our beloved community manager, or community director, whatever her title is now, as a character in the game, arguably. I mean, we still have her in terms of the little virtual Lotus that we've got that floats around and still tells us kind of what to do, where we're going, all that kind of thing. But in terms of new, interesting story points that she would be, her character would be involved in, we'd potentially miss out, I guess, which would be a shame, in my opinion, at any rate. But yeah, then the next set of things that he says, he's just confused, which again isn't all that surprising considering he's had his body torn to pieces. Again, the one thing that bugs me more so than anything else, the one big inconsistency, I think, is that we didn't stab him that much. We kind of caught him with the tip of a sword in possibly somewhere that would be kind of quite painful and quite damaging, but I don't know if it would do quite the amount of damage to him that it seems to, you know? Especially considering he's lived for so long, been so capable at staying alive for these long periods of time. And yet we're still kind of stuck with him being kind of a pansy again when it actually really comes to it, which I feel is a little bit of a shame, you know.
You've reached the location. Clear out any nearby hostiles.
You know, we'll have to see what happens next, obviously. But then the next thing that stands out to me is that we got Paracesis, his sword, the sentient killer, which, yeah, I'm not. It's interesting because it's a sword, from what I've seen, that can level up beyond the max rank by a few ranks and deals more damage to sentients and removes their various resistances and things when you attack them, which sounds great to me in principle, because sentients are a pain in the arse, and because they are just remarkably hardy for no reason, they're kind of a dull enemy in my opinion, and I've talked about this in other videos as well. But when it comes to some of the if he had that all along, then why hasn't he attempted to use it to defend himself, to maintain certain elements of his plan to protect himself? Otherwise, why summon it in to just allow us to take advantage of it? But the other thing is that once again, everything that we saw in the prologue is fed to us, given to us by the man in the wall, wandering around in Lotus's helmet, which, you know, again, one of the things that I kind of find interesting is that just how much symbology there is in the in this particular prologue, anyway, because it's. Do you know what, guys? Let's just. Oh, okay, I died. I'm still pondering things over, working stuff out, but I kind of want to. Oh, these guys are hitting hard, and I realise that I'm not in a particularly well-equipped Warframe at the moment, all told. But even so, that was quite painful. There we go. Where's the last guy? There he is.
That's the last of them. This location is ours now.
Fair enough. But yeah, it's there are still a lot of kind of holes in both what we're being shown, what we're being told, and I don't mind them necessarily, but there are still a lot of things that we need answers for. And it's, I don't know, there's part of me that's just kind of, whilst yes, we're looking at a lot of stuff in regards to characters at the moment, you know, Ballas, working out what's happened to Lotus / Natar, all of that kind of stuff. You know, we're working out where we sit in the world again, which, you know, especially considering we've lost Lotus, Ballas has turned up again, all that kind of thing. It's important for us to do, but at the same time, I know I want some more grand story, I guess. I want some more change of the world, change of the solar system kind of impactful stuff again, rather than just individualistic bits and pieces here and there. But Ballas kind of mentions something like that in one of his other ramblings. He says that we've all been blinded by Lotus, by Natar. There isn't a mother Lotus, you know, that's just a shape in clouds. There isn't a Margulis, she's dead because Ballas killed her. All there is the sentient. And he points out that potentially all she's been doing since she woke us up has been directing us to murder potential allies. Yeah? If the sentients were to reinvade the system, you know, who would our allies be? Would it be the remnant of Orokin culture? It would be the corpus. It would be the Grineer, who would want to protect themselves, who are ruled over by a couple of kind of past their prime Orokin princesses almost. And it's yeah, we've got a collection of things that he points out there that are kind of interesting. You know, as I've said before, I've never been the biggest fan of Lotus, as it were. She's never really been someone that I would say I trust. You know, she's been fairly incompetent in a lot of ways as our guide, as our protector. You know, a lot of the things that she said, I've just pasted to the whole kind of, yes, this is the board of Lotus's incompetence as a mother figure. But, you know, what if that was all an act? What if all of this was all an act? And she's been the bad guy all along, which wouldn't surprise me. But then there's another element to this that I kind of want to bring up, and that is we've just been given the sentient killer. We've been given this weapon that is essentially sentient bane, and along with that, we've kind of been shown a couple of other things in regards to what Lotus could be, what Lotus is, or at least from Ballas's opinion. And again, we've been shown these things by the Man in the Wall. Now, I think I'm starting to understand the Man in the Wall's kind of goals.
The Grenier are about to recapture them. Are you going to let that happen?
Yes. Yes, I want to. Where'd he go? Okay, fine. I'll just shoot you guys instead. But yeah, the Man in the Wall doesn't want the system to go. Whether he's only based in the Origin system.
You're too late. Enemy has recovered their drone.
Or not. He doesn't want us to get beaten. He doesn't want us to die, because he seemed pretty damn happy that we had taken on Umbra's pain, that we had taken on Umbra's memories. There we go. So if we get killed, if we get beaten, why would how would he be able to continue to play his game or feed off us? You know, I feel like possibly there's a little bit of a kind of warlock-ish, kind of D&D warlock-ish element to the Man in the Wall, where he's granting us this void power. He's allowing us this kind of relative immortality and potence, and yet what it really kind of comes down to is that he's maybe using us to feed off our suffering, off the suffering that we internalize from the Warframes. All of that stuff. You know, it's possible at the very least. But again, why would he show us Ballas? Why would the Man in the Wall allow us control of the sentient killer? Why would he basically transmit us to a place where we could listen to Ballas's ramblings and where we could haunt him and all that kind of thing? Now, there seemed to be an element there towards the end where Ballas looks at us with his glowy eye, which again seems to have been given to him by Natar. Seems to be a way for her to monitor him, maybe, where she seems to look straight at us. Which again, considering with tracing back with the help of the Man in the Wall, we're tracing back through Lotus's somatic link, or whatever her equivalent was. It's going to be kind of interesting to see whether or not we're going to get any additional useful information from the Man in the Wall, or whether or not Lotus knew we were there listening, or whether or not she knew that we were there to take the sword from Ballas. You know, he covers his eye to try and prevent us from being spotted, prevent us from being seen. But it doesn't seem to last very long. He does look at us. So, you know, whether or not Lotus knows we're coming or not, it's kind of a moot point. But we'll have to see what's kind of going on with that at some point later on. But then the last thing that I kind of want to point out is that when we've got all this stuff going on, we've got the Queens, we've got Alad V, we've got Nefanyo, we've got all the stuff on Venus. Now we've got the Railjack stuff that we know is coming, but we've not really seen anything of yet. Which seems to, at least from what we've seen of it, be kind of pointed more towards fighting Nefanyo on Venus at the moment. It's like we know that Lotus seems to be on the edge, the very far out edge of the Origin system. And that's fine, but what happens when she comes back? Because she's going to have to come back. She can't travel through the void, but she wants to go home. To go home, she needs to find a way to get her fire back, which from what we understand means going to Cetus and taking on the Unum and the Quills. Now the Quills have representatives on Fortuna, or a representative on Fortuna. We've got all of the tech that's on Venus, the terraforming tech. There's...
Parents, I want a future for my children. As long as that future involves dead Tenno maggots.
That's so nice of you, dude. But anyway, there are so many moving pieces on the board now for the whole overview of the Origin system, and yet you've got us on one side, and we are the one thing that Lotus always had over us was the amount of knowledge that she had, and that's where we kind of have this big old problem now, because we've lost the biggest source of information that we had access to. You know, we're flying blind on so many fronts. Like even Ballast barely offers us anything useful, and it's still highly subjective to say the least. And it's still Ballast, so even though he's all broken, it's still a case of going, can we trust him? Is he actually going to be reliable? Is he going to be at all useful? Has he just gone nuts? Because he seems confused. He's talking to himself. He's been going for so long with this situation that no one would enjoy. You know, thousands of years, 1,000 years seemingly, between the end of the Orichin and the present day, from, you know, best we can tell. So he's been kicking around for another entire millennia, but he's been alone.
More Grineer amassing nearby. Get over there and take them out. Keep going. They won't be able to sustain this casualty.
Even if he's an Orichin with the kind of a mind to oh, I need to be careful. And to be fair, I need to learn to use the Revenant's abilities more.
I've located another massive enemies. Take the fight to them.
That's one of my problems with this this Warframe. I've still not really got used to what he does, how he does it. So I should probably do that more. But anyway, again, this is what happens when I've got a day off and I'm a bit tired from doing anything else to sit down and just play some stuff, just to farm. I just need to kill A couple more of you. Don't mind me. Thank you.
That's it. You've broken them, Tenno.
Where'd my board go? Oh. Is it up? Oh, it's here. There we go. Yeah, we've got those interesting things to kind of try and keep in mind going forward. And yet, we really need to find another source of good information soon. And part of me goes, maybe Teshin, but we saw how little the Dax soldiers, even ones like Teshin who are there to train and help empower the troops, as it were, like, they didn't know much. Look at Umbra and Umbra's kid. You know, the hell is... Oh, this is the shrine thing, right? I've not been here in donkeys, so, like, to actually tackle an Eidolon. So is this the actual thing? Or is it... Because I could have sworn it was off that way somewhere. But I guess this also makes for a sensible place to... Who's shooting me? Hello? Oh, there you are. But anyway, yeah, it's we've got a Ballas who's nuts and may very well be unreliable, because that, again, even the Apostasy prologue, we knew that something had happened. But if it weren't for the man in the wall allowing us to sync in with Lotus's helmet, then there's a good chance we wouldn't have seen all the stuff between her and Ballas. And so we wouldn't have been as capable or quick to intervene when the next kind of call went out for us to go and deal with stuff. So we're being manipulated. We're being manipulated by everybody as the Tenno. But we, at the moment, we don't have the capacity, even though we've got infrastructure, we've got power, we're the most powerful physical force in the solar system, and we're growing, you know, we're getting the railjacks next to bolster our fleet. There are, as I've shown you before in other videos, concepts for Tenno cruisers and things. Like, we're rebuilding the relays. Like, there's so much stuff that we have access to, and yet, because we lack that information, because we lack that guidance, even though at one point there was a Council of Tenno, even though, you know, I'm hoping that when it comes to that kind of thing, where we've got the Grandmasters, and all the ranks among the Tenno, and all of the organisations within the Tenno that we've been told about, or that we've heard named, or whatever else before, I'm hoping that we get some Arbiters of Hexis stuff, and then I'm hoping that we get more of these, like, weird allusions and tangents and things like that, subjective pieces of information just tidied up. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna go probably trundle around, do some other bits and pieces, and continue to hunt for the Ascension cores, which, you know, I have to wait until nighttime for, all told, unless I go up to the moon, which I might do. But either way, I've got to hang around and sort those out, so that next time, this has been me just kind of rambling and enjoying some time just to relax. So if this isn't necessarily what you were looking for today, then I apologise. But, you know, I need some time just to ramble and get stuff out of my head. And the Chimera thing, the Chimera prologue and the information in it has just kind of stuck with me, where we've got illusions of Lotus being absolutely terrible. And we've got Ballas being potentially far more sympathetic than he has been in the past. And part of me wonders what if that's maybe why we're still waiting on some of the cinematic trailers for Warframes, for the Primes. Just because maybe the dialogue and stuff in them was too much of a giveaway, or was having to be rewritten because of some of these revelations that were going to happen before they actually managed to finish stuff off in terms of just workflow. You know, I want to see them, I want to dissect them like I have before, and I'm still pondering as to which parts of what we saw in the Chimera prologue and elsewhere to actually believe. But either way, guys, hopefully next time I will be back and we'll take a look at the lore for the Revenant here once I've unlocked the right rank for the quills. Because I once the Plains of Eidolon showed up, I did a little bit to get to like rank 1. And then I kind of went, okay, and left it. So I need to because it didn't really have a lot of application for a lot of the stuff that I was looking to do in the game. So now, though, now that there's some lore and some story kind of attached to it, I kind of want to go dig in a bit more. But either way, as said, I'm sorry this has been very rambly and a bit more all over the place today. But yeah, it's just where my head's at the moment. I'm a bit washed out is all. So please forgive me. But otherwise, if you've got thoughts about the Chimera prologue, you know, as said, I'm still trying to think over all the potential angles. So any thoughts that you have would also be great. But otherwise, thank you very much for watching, guys. And yeah, I'll see you next time, hopefully, with a Revenant story to discuss. By the way, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the video later. Take care. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video or found it interesting at all, even despite the rambling, then please drop us a like, share this video, and subscribe for more. And I'll see you in the video tomorrow. Take care.